Hi everyone, my name's Pieta Valentine. I've written 2 books, The Resident's Voice from a Dementia Unit and The Resident's Rise from a Dementia Unit. So today's session is going to be on when your friend is diagnosed with dementia. Now, say for example you have a friend and you've been friends since school days, best friends actually, and your good friend, you've noticed, for 10 years actually. 10 years ago she started, having lapses of memory, nothing too serious. It didn't affect activities of daily living, and you'd still do all the things you both loved doing. You were both fit and you loved hiking up the hills and swimming in the sea and having coffee out and all those, sporty things that you've done all your life. You're both very sporty, and your friend still is, who has been diagnosed with dementia. So thankfully you can still, go out and do what you used to do, especially when you're with her, because she has direction orientation problems. She does lose her way. So if you're with her, there's no problems with that, and she's fit enough to still go up the hills and all the rest of it. So no problem there. But the present memory loss and the direction orientation loss is really increasing quite rapidly. So your good friend, say her name is Trina and her sister is Tessa. So Trina lives with her sister, and her sister, say her husband's just died, so she's on her own. Your husband has also died, so you're on your own, and the person with dementia, Trina, has never had a husband. So anyway, none of you have got husbands now. And the families, your children are up in the North Island, and so is the sister Tessa. All the kids are away overseas, here and there, as they often are. So anyway, there's the 3 of you left to help. No, the 2 of you left to help Trina. Now, it's always a big subject. Dementia is always a big subject. There is always a lot to do. It's often just left with 1 or 2 people, the burden of it, and that's the difficulty of it. But anyway, you're very pragmatic. You're the friend, you're pragmatic. You've worked as a carer all your life, so you know about dementia. You've worked mainly in hospital settings, but you've never worked in an actual dementia facility. You've heard a lot about it from your friends, but you've never actually worked there. And there's a lot involved. So anyway, there's all that to deal with. But firstly, back to your friend has just been diagnosed with dementia. Now, what to do? Well, actually, what to do is to carry on. Keep strong and carry on. As they say in Maori here, in New Zealand, kia kaha, think strong, be strong. Just carry on as usual. Don't back off, don't back away. The old adage, a friend in need is a friend indeed. So just, don't isolate. Just carry on with all the usual activities, the meetings each week. Say you met every Tuesday to go for a walk along the beach. Keep all that going, the routine, as you had it before. But now, of course, now that she's been diagnosed and the dementia is increasing, like a little bit more rapidly in the last 6 months than prior, you know, and can see the future. Having worked in the medical establishment all your life, you know that at some point soon, your good friend is going to be admitted to a dementia facility. And there's a lot to prepare for that, huge amount to prepare for that. But the sister of Trina doesn't realise that. She's the power of attorney as well. She doesn't realise what's involved. She just sits and watches soap operas all day. That's her favourite thing. She really enjoys that. She's a bit overweight. She's got a walking stick. She's not fit. She doesn't mind cooking dinner at night for Trina, but it's getting a bit much at the moment because, Trina needs a bit of help with showering in the morning, and she's not really up to that. And even though the nurses or Nurse Maud comes in and helps out, it's still not enough, There's other accidents happening around the place, and She's really not up to being able to deal with that. Okay, and you've suggested to the sister, as the friend, you've suggested to the sister of Trina, look, there's a lot to do. There's a lot to prepare for with Trina going into a dementia facility. We need to upskill, learn, you know, study this up and come up with a plan. But no, the sister's not interested in that. I mean, you know, she's going to a facility where she's cared for, isn't she? Like, we have to pay a bomb for it anyway. She's going in there. She'll be looked after. There's all the nurses and the carers. They do everything. What do we need to do? You know? Bit of shampoo and conditioner. That's all I've heard you need to do from my other friend who's, you know, daughter or whatever, sister went into a dementia facility. They hardly did anything after that, after she left. What it meant, there's a few of those attitudes out there. So, as the friend, you realise that the sister's not on board. She's hardly likely to get on board. If all she likes is soap operas. She's not going to, like, you know, want to read a book after doing that for 3 years or 10 years or however long she's been sitting on that couch. So you realise a lot of it's going to be left up to you as the good friend, you know. So you're going to start to prepare. You have already started preparing. You have read a whole lot of books on it. You have talked to your other friends that work in dementia facilities. You have read the book, The Resident's Voice, which is all about going into the facility. You lent that book from someone else because you haven't got the money to buy it, you know. And also you've looked at the relevant videos in this series here because, you know, that doesn't cost anything and you have to be careful with your money. So that was all good, and you're all set up. You know that you've got, you know, to really prepare here because already you and the sister have been around looking at dementia facilities, and they have said that it could be, you know, in another 4-6 weeks, and Trina could probably get a space in one then. And already just last week, Trina nearly set the house alight with, you know, pot on the stove. So it's getting quite dicey. The doctors said as well that it's probably time to go into a facility. So you are reading, studying, preparing, trying to, you know, absorb all this. And at the same time with Trina, prepare her. And that cannot be a rushed process. That needs to be taken very diplomatically, empathetically, you know, to say things at the right time and all of that. So you feel, fortunately, because you've been working in the medical establishment and you have a good relationship with Trina, you're not feeling pressured, but you know that the pressure is on to be able to get all these things done. So you make a bit of a plan for yourself as to what you're going to do in the future, discussing dementia with Trina being one of them, present and past memory and the difference between the two. Discuss that with Trina. You know, explain to Trina about the dementia facility in a diplomatic way. At the facility, you haven't decided on the room yet, so you've decided that you want to take Trina with the sister into the facility to look at the rooms and see which one's the most suitable. So that's another subject. Then you have to work out what Trina's going to take into the facility, what's the best bedding, chair, you know, activities, what's on the walls, all of that. So much to prepare, you know. So you're prepared. You're going to quietly get Trina prepared. How much the sister does, heaven knows, we don't know about that, but you probably can't rely on that too much. So all of these next lot of videos I'm going to be doing is about the friend, you know, helping set up the room, get the right room, you know, prepare her friend for going into the facility, everything she can do to help her friend she's going to do. And so I'm going to do videos, the next, you know, 3 or so videos on that, so that if you are a friend out there with a friend with dementia, you can just look at these videos from a friend's perspective and, you know, help out and all the glitches that are likely to come along the way, you know, little solutions and suggestions and practical positive tips will be there. So it's always has to be positive and it has to be practical, that being the whole aim of it. My time's up. Thank you for the likes, the views, and everything. Please subscribe.